All right, good evening, Gulf Coast independent wrestling fans. Welcome back to the Front Row Fanatics. And as you can see, we are joined in the Front Row Fanatics studio at this time by the Ultimate Wrestling X Factor champion, Brutal Joe Gibson. And we'd like to thank you for taking the time to grace us with your magnificent presence here. And please don't kick my ass.
I don't intend to, but then again, contractual obligations are contractual obligations, so be that as it may, I'm just here to help you put over the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. With that being said, we're going to continue our review of Ultimate Wrestling's Mayhem show that took place on the 15th of May in the armpit of the South, Milton, Florida. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm sitting closer this way because Joe might still be mad at me, so take it away, Internet.
All right, our next match of the night, pitted. Somebody Joe is very familiar with, the Black Wolf. He took on the Ultimate Wrestling Heavyweight Champ, Death Row.
Familiar with both of those guys.
Absolutely. Of course, Joe actually beat Death Row in that infamous dog collar match some time ago. And it wasn't that long ago, Joe faced the Black Wolf, and was that a double count out?
I beat a spirit, so that's good enough in my book.
Well, anyway, Black Wolf started off with a lot of offense on this match, as most guys have been doing as of late. But in the end, Death Row just annihilated him.
What can you say about Death Row? He's big, he's mean, he's nasty. Black Wolf tried to take it to him, but Death Row's a bad son of a bitch. And 1, 2, 3 ABC, he still retains the belt. Now we'd like to get some expert opinion here from Joe on what he thought about the match and potential championship ramifications here in the future.
Well, as far as the match between Death Row and the Black Wolf, I did happen to catch a couple glances of that, and to tell you the truth, it looked, pardon the pun, but it looked like a prison raping. Because you get a guy who looks like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction, and throw him in there, the guy who's been in a jumpsuit now for how long, who's been on Death Row, who probably hasn't seen a woman ever.
Oh!
You gotta pretty much think that the Black Wolf's caramel milky skin probably looked very good, and he has Death Row sank his teeth into the backside of the Black Wolf.
Wow. Wait!
Wow.
Got some prison brother love action going on there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing the brutal truth.
From Brutal Joe now.
Live.
Seeing how as you're the X Factor champion, which would, in my opinion, makes you the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship title. Do you see a match putting your belt versus Death Row, or are you going to maybe say hell with the X Factor belt and go back for the King of the Mountain, or what's in the future for Brutal Joe Gibson?
There's a lot of different paths I could take. Right now, the X Factor Championship is my focus because I don't want to be like how it was last time. I'm man enough to admit I didn't hold the X Factor title very long last time because Cameron Frost, the guy that I can never seem to get the upper hand on because, quite frankly, I can't stand the guy personally, but I respect his in-ring ability. He beat me. Matter of fact, he submitted me, made me pass out for the, at that time it was called the Southern Heavyweight title,
Right.
Now X Factor. And right now I just want to make it past the two-show curse that I have with this belt. Now I got Suicidal Soldier as a notch in my belt, and I don't know who they've got lined up for me in Pensacola, but rumors has it that somebody from my past has something in surprise for me. That could be a lot of people, as you know, Gargoyle, and as you know, Internet.
Right.
You've seen I've got a lot of people in my past that I apparently piss off, and they want to try to get the upper hand on me. But be as it may, I'm a fighting champion. I'll defend this belt. I might want to handpick a couple of them, maybe give some junior a shot at gold. Who knows?
Well,
Privileges of being the champion too. You got to have some perks.
And when you've been involved in Ultimate Wrestling as long as you have, and that one thing that idiot Red Anderson did put in my contract whenever I signed it over there at the Pensacola Grand Hotel,
big media frenzy involving
right,
that, I remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was the fact that as long as I have, my contract is active at Ultimate, I have a little bit of a stroke around here. And being as a champion, I have just that much more stroke over some of these top guys walking around here.
And deservedly so, as you've been a franchise player from the beginning since your arrival in Ultimate Wrestling, and the domination that you've shown over 99% of your opponents, leaves nothing more to be said. You're the man. You got the gold to back it up. You should have the stroke to call the shots.
I remember a couple of years ago, Joe was actually in the main event, but he came out there and they had a couple of ham and eggers in there. Do you remember that? He beat the crap out of both of them, went to the back, came back for the main. Do you remember that? I can't remember their names, but
it was 3 guys that I actually faced back to back. Actually, the first I know who you're talking about. There's a couple backyard jabrones that came in there, a couple yard tards that thought that they were professional wrestlers, a couple, you know, couple superstars in their own minds.
Right.
Came over the Ultimate and was talking to Alexander Hurst and talking to Red Anderson, saying, we're professional wrestlers. We were trained by this, this, and this. Probably No Mercy in SmackDown versus Raw.
Video game training.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, you watch a Burning Hammer 18 times. That you know you're up for championship gold. But so I overheard this. You know, being as I going back to what I was saying before, I got a little bit of stroke. So I walked up to Alexander Hurst and said, "Give me those 2 guys." What, you talking about, like one this month and one that? No, I want them both at the same time because I don't think, honestly, that the 2 of them combined has enough ability to take out my pinky. And as y'all seen when y'all were there, it was like 3 minutes. Yeah.
No, it wasn't vicious. It was brutal.
No
Get it right.
shit.
Get it right. Brutal.
My
not
God.
vicious.
And then you get this other guy walking out here in his camouflage, you know, because apparently being a patriot gets you over in wrestling.
Yeah.
That works for a couple guys in this area. So,
Woo!
this guy comes out here. It looks like he shopped at the Army-Navy store. He had his little Marine Corps BDUs on, coming out there shaking little girls' hands or whatever. Corporal Cage, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a feeling that's who you're
Oh, yeah. Didn't he get promoted to gunnery sergeant now or something?
Who gives a shit?
Did you know that actually he wore a pair of my camouflage pants and boots in a match in a show in Fort Walton?
I didn't
Borrowed
know
them
that.
from me. Borrowed them from me.
I hope you burned him.
No, I never took them back, dude.
But yeah, he came in there and he wanted to, you know, test his skill. And yeah, a couple minutes later, he was facing the lights like everyone else.
1, 2, 3, looking up at the ceiling. But we're going to continue this interesting conversation with the X Factor champion, Brutal Joe Gibson, in a few moments. We're going to take a break right now. I need a fresh beer, and the Brutal one needs to get worked up for some more hardcore truth, action, bits, pieces, gossip, Ultimate Wrestling.